The email notification chimed at 6:47 a.m. on a Tuesday morning in October. Sarah's 60th birthday planning committee. A group chat I'd never asked to join, discussing an event I'd apparently already volunteered to coordinate. My phone buzzed relentlessly with messages from cousins, aunts, and siblings, all casually assuming I'd handle their children during the celebration. Just like I had for every family gathering since I turned 17. Can you watch Emma and the twins during the party? Jessica texted at 7:15 a.m. Obviously Sarah will do it, my sister Katie replied immediately on my behalf. She always handles kids' duty. It's basically her job at this point. The laughing emoji that followed felt like a knife between my ribs. I stared at my phone while brewing coffee in my cramped studio apartment. The same suffocating space I'd been renting for 8 years because every spare dollar disappeared into family emergencies, last-minute babysitting supplies, and birthday gifts for children who barely acknowledged my existence. The ancient coffee maker gurgled and wheezed as I scrolled through 15 years of identical messages. Birthday parties where I missed the entire celebration while managing screaming toddlers in basement playrooms. Christmas dinners where I ate cold leftovers after everyone else finished, because someone had to keep the kids entertained. Easter brunches where I spent hours hiding eggs and supervising hunts while my siblings posted perfect family photos that never included me. Graduation celebrations where I held crying babies in parking lots while families took milestone photos. Wedding receptions where I chased flower girls and ring bearers through reception halls while everyone else danced and celebrated. Always the same assignment: watch the kids while everyone else enjoyed their lives. The pattern had started innocently enough when I was 17 and my cousin brought her newborn to Thanksgiving dinner. Sarah's so good with babies, everyone had observed as I naturally gravitated toward helping. That single compliment became a life sentence. By 18 I was the designated babysitter for every family event. By 20, relatives were dropping children at my apartment without asking. By 25 I was spending more money on other people's kids than on my own basic needs. By 30 I had become the family's unpaid childcare service, invisible except when someone needed free labor. My therapist Dr. Martinez had been preparing me for this breaking point during our sessions over the past 8 months. When you're truly ready to change your life, she'd said during our last appointment, you'll recognize the moment. Trust your instincts. You've been documenting patterns of exploitation for months now. When the time comes, you'll know exactly what to do. He was right. I had been documenting everything meticulously since January, screenshots of family group chats that assumed my availability, detailed calendars marking every unpaid babysitting shift, bank statements showing hundreds of dollars spent monthly on other people's children while I survived on ramen noodles and generic groceries. The evidence painted a clear picture of systematic family exploitation disguised as loving obligation. The escape planning began immediately after that Tuesday morning message. While my family assumed I was researching age-appropriate party games and portable cribs for Mom's celebration, I was actually researching flight prices to Denver and apartment rentals in Boulder, Colorado. While they thought I was shopping for decorations and coordinating with entertainment vendors, I was updating my professional resume and submitting applications for social work positions in mountain towns where nobody knew my family history. While they believed I was creating detailed schedules for managing 14 children during the party, I was coordinating with a long-distance moving company and scheduling utility disconnections. The family meetings intensified as Mom's birthday approached. Every Sunday dinner became a planning session where my role was assumed, never discussed. Sarah will handle all the kid logistics, obviously, Mom announced during our weekly gathering 2 weeks before her party. She's got the system down to a science by now. What would we do without our built-in professional babysitter? Uncle Tom joked, ruffling my hair like I was 12 instead of 32. Everyone laughed appreciatively around the dining room table as I served the homemade dessert I'd spent 3 hours preparing. I smiled warmly and began clearing plates. I'm always happy to help family, I said, carrying a stack of dishes to the kitchen. Behind the closed door, I opened my laptop and confirmed my one-way flight reservation. Saturday afternoon, 3:15 p.m. departure from Reagan National to Denver International. While Mom cut her milestone birthday cake surrounded by adoring relatives, I'd be somewhere over Kansas, breathing free air for the first time in 15 years. The family group chat exploded with increasingly detailed logistics as the party date approached. 14 children under 10 would attend, ranging from 6-month-old baby Marcus to 9-year-old Hurricane Emma. Every parent sent elaborate instructions for their offspring, precise nap schedules, specific snack preferences, complicated behavioral management strategies, emergency contact information, medical alerts, entertainment requirements. Not one single person asked if I actually wanted to spend Mom's milestone birthday wrestling toddlers in a basement playroom while missing the entire celebration upstairs. Don't forget Marcus needs his bottle warmed to exactly 98 degrees at 4 p.m., my cousin Jennifer messaged with military precision. And Emma gets violent if she doesn't have iPad time every 30 minutes. My brother Mike added helpfully, the twins are going through an aggressive biting phase, just so you know. Also they're potty training, so accidents are guaranteed. Katie chimed in cheerfully with, Olivia might have diarrhea from her new antibiotic. I packed extra clothes and cleaning supplies. I responded to each message with enthusiastic confirmations and detailed follow-up questions while simultaneously researching child-free activities in downtown Boulder. Art galleries where I could contemplate paintings without interruption. Hiking trails where the only screaming would be from mountain birds. Coffee shops where I could read entire novels without tiny hands grabbing pages. Adult conversation about topics beyond diaper brands and screen time limits. Friday night before the party, I packed my entire life into 7 cardboard boxes and 4 large suitcases. 15 years of carefully accumulating just enough possessions to feel temporarily settled, but never enough to feel permanently trapped. My lease ended in exactly 2 weeks, timing I'd orchestrated months in advance with my landlord. The moving truck would arrive Monday morning to collect everything and transport it 1,200 miles to my new 1-bedroom apartment with spectacular mountain views and not a single child-proofed cabinet. Saturday morning arrived with typical pre-party chaos amplified to crisis levels. My phone buzzed incessantly with last-minute coordination demands. Sarah, can you arrive 2 hours early to set up the entire kid zone? Sarah, Jennifer's running late with Marcus. Can you pick him up from daycare across town? Sarah, we need someone to collect the custom birthday cake from the specialty bakery. Obviously that responsibility falls to you. Sarah, Katie's bringing extra children because her babysitter canceled. Hope that's not a problem. Sarah, Uncle Tom's grandkids are coming after all, so add 3 more to your head count. I answered every single request with the same enthusiastic response. Absolutely. No problem at all. See you very soon. At 1:30 p.m., I loaded my car with the final suitcase, drove directly to Reagan National Airport, and parked in long-term parking with no return date. My flight began boarding at 2:45 p.m., departure at 3:15 p.m. sharp. Perfect timing orchestrated down to the minute. While my family gathered in Mom's elaborately decorated backyard for pre-party photos and final preparations, I was settling into seat 14A with a novel I'd been attempting to read for 3 years between family obligations. The birthday celebration officially started at 3 p.m. Eastern. I knew the exact timing because Jennifer immediately began posting Instagram stories of arriving guests. Beautiful table settings, elegant decorations, gorgeous October weather, excited relatives embracing and posing for photos. And in the background of every single image, I could see cousins and siblings glancing around with increasingly confused and panicked expressions. Where was Sarah? Where was the designated child-wrangling expert? Who was supposed to manage the 14 small humans currently descending upon this carefully planned adult celebration like a plague of locusts? At exactly 3:47 p.m., my phone exploded with incoming chaos. Where are you? Katie texted in all caps with multiple question marks. The kids are literally destroying everything and Mom is having a complete meltdown. Mike called 3 times in rapid succession. Uncle Tom left an increasingly frantic voicemail asking if I was running late or having car trouble or something because this is an emergency situation. Jessica sent a blurry photo of baby Marcus screaming while Emma systematically dismantled the expensive gift table. Urgent emergency, Mom texted in full panic mode. Get here immediately. The party is falling apart. I watched the Colorado Rocky Mountains emerge through the airplane window as my phone continued buzzing with increasingly desperate messages. The flight attendant made the standard announcement requesting all passengers turn electronic devices to airplane mode. I complied with genuine pleasure, watching my screen go dark just as another wave of panicked family calls attempted to reach me. When I landed in Denver at 5:20 p.m. Mountain Time, I discovered 37 missed calls and 62 unread text messages. Based on the timestamps and escalating hysteria, Mom's carefully orchestrated adult birthday party had descended into complete and utter chaos within the first hour. Multiple toddlers had simultaneous meltdowns when they realized their usual handler was missing. Parents who hadn't actually supervised their own children in years stood helplessly as their offspring ran wild through the elegant celebration. The expensive custom birthday cake ended up splattered across the patio when unsupervised twins decided to help serve dessert to themselves. Mom's milestone 60th birthday party, planned for months and anticipated for weeks, became an unmitigated disaster zone of screaming children, overwhelmed relatives, and completely ruined festivities. "How could you just disappear without warning?" Katie's voicemail demanded through tears of frustration. "This is Mom's 60th birthday. You completely ruined everything. Everyone's asking where you are and I don't know what to tell them." Mike's message was shorter but significantly angrier. "This is beyond selfish and irresponsible. Family means commitment and responsibility. You abandoned us when we needed you most." Mom herself left a long, tearful voicemail that began with confusion and escalated to hurt anger. "I don't understand what happened or where you went. You always handle the children at family events. Without you here, the entire party was ruined. All my friends saw our family falling apart. I'm so embarrassed and disappointed." I sat calmly in the Denver airport baggage claim area and composed one carefully worded response to the family group chat. "I have permanently relocated to Colorado to start a new chapter of my life. I will no longer be available to provide unpaid childcare services at family events. I hope everyone had a wonderful time celebrating Mom's milestone birthday, and I trust you all learned something valuable about taking personal responsibility for supervising your own children. Best wishes to everyone." Then I muted the group chat permanently and blocked individual numbers that continued calling. Dr. Martinez had spent months preparing me for the inevitable guilt campaign. "They will attempt to make you feel selfish, irresponsible, and disloyal," she'd warned during our final session. "But choosing to prioritize your own life and well-being isn't selfish behavior. It's psychologically necessary for healthy adult development. You cannot continue sacrificing your entire existence for other people's convenience indefinitely without suffering serious emotional consequences." He was absolutely right about everything. The angry messages continued pouring in for days afterward. Extended family members accused me of betraying fundamental family values, abandoning sacred obligations, and destroying beloved traditions through selfish behavior. What none of them could understand or acknowledge was that I had never actually volunteered for any of those so-called obligations in the first place. Those responsibilities had been unilaterally assigned to me by people who automatically assumed I had no other options, dreams, or plans for my own life. My new position at Boulder Family Services started the following Monday morning. Real professional social work with proper training, ongoing supervision, and appropriate financial compensation. I helped struggling families navigate complex crisis situations and connect with essential community resources. I advocated for vulnerable children who needed protection and support services. I utilized my natural caretaking abilities in meaningful ways that made genuine differences in people's lives, with healthy professional boundaries that protected my own mental health and personal time. The dramatic difference between chosen service and imposed servitude became crystal clear within days of starting my new life. At work, I helped families because I was trained, qualified, and compensated to provide those services. When my new neighbor Rachel asked if I could watch her daughter for a genuine medical emergency, I said yes because I genuinely wanted to help another human being, not because I was expected to automatically sacrifice my own plans without question or consideration. 3 weeks after the party disaster, Mom called my new Colorado number. Not texted, actually called, which meant the situation had reached serious levels of family desperation. "We need to have an honest conversation," she said when I answered. "The entire family is struggling significantly with childcare arrangements now. Everyone's having to make actual plans and hire real babysitters, and it's expensive and complicated. Jessica had to pay a professional sitter $60 for one date night. Mike and Kelly are constantly arguing about who has to stay home with the twins during social events. Uncle Tom said family gatherings aren't enjoyable anymore because parents actually have to parent their own children instead of socializing freely. I listened thoughtfully while watching a spectacular sunrise illuminate the Flatiron Mountains through my new bedroom window. That does sound like a difficult adjustment period for everyone, I replied calmly and compassionately. You need to seriously consider coming back home, Mom continued with increasing urgency. This experiment, or whatever you're calling it, clearly isn't sustainable long term. The family genuinely needs you here. I'm turning 61 next year, and I want to have my real birthday celebration with proper childcare arrangements in place. I am currently living my real life, I replied simply, with proper personal boundaries firmly in place. The conversation ended abruptly when Mom hung up in frustration, but it wasn't the last attempt at negotiation. Over the following months, various family members took turns calling to negotiate my return through different strategies. They offered financial bribes, elaborate guilt trips, emotional manipulation, and eventually direct threats about being permanently written out of family wills and excluded from all future gatherings. What they never offered was genuine acknowledgement that 15 years of unpaid labor might have been fundamentally unfair, or recognition that maybe they should hire actual professional babysitters like other normal families do. My favorite moment of vindication came 4 months later when Jessica called, completely defeated. I hired a professional nanny service for Emma's 6th birthday party, she admitted reluctantly. It cost $300 for 6 hours of childcare. I never realized how much money. She trailed off, perhaps mentally calculating 15 years of free professional quality childcare services I'd provided without compensation or appreciation. Now you understand what my time and energy were actually worth, I said gently but firmly. The family system eventually adapted to my permanent absence. They hired babysitters, radically adjusted their expectations, and slowly learned to manage their own children during social events like responsible parents should. Some relationships actually improved once the resentment and systematic exploitation were completely removed from the dynamic. Katie and I now have regular phone conversations without any underlying assumption that I owe her free labor or personal sacrifices. Mike eventually offered a genuine apology after calculating how much money the family had collectively saved over the years by exploiting me as unpaid help. Mom still occasionally mentions my abandonment during holiday phone calls, but with considerably less venom than initially. She's genuinely proud of my social work career and professional accomplishments, though she doesn't quite make the connection between those developed caretaking skills and the years of mandatory family service that built them. She recently admitted that family gatherings are completely different now. Smaller, more manageable, with parents actually engaging meaningfully with their own children instead of automatically dumping them on designated family sacrifice members. I visit Colorado Springs for major holidays now, but I maintain careful boundaries by staying in hotels and renting cars. I participate in family celebrations as an aunt and daughter, not as unpaid staff or invisible service provider. When children need attention during gatherings, multiple adults share responsibility instead of assuming one person will handle everything automatically. The family system adjusted to my absence and actually became healthier and more functional in the process. My new life in Colorado exceeded every expectation I dared to have. I joined hiking groups and took pottery classes. I dated without worrying about emergency babysitting calls interrupting romantic dinners. I built genuine friendships based on mutual interests and respect rather than family obligation and exploitation. I bought a mountain bike and learned to rock climb. I read entire novels in peaceful coffee shops and attended weeknight concerts without guilt. Simple pleasures that had been completely impossible when every weekend was automatically claimed by other people's children and family obligations. The crushing guilt faded gradually over months, replaced by growing pride in finally choosing my own path after years of imposed sacrifice. Dr. Martinez helped me understand through continued phone sessions that healthy families don't systematically assign one member to sacrifice their entire social life for everyone else's convenience. Loving families don't take advantage of someone's naturally helpful nature until it becomes systematic exploitation and abuse. Real family support flows in multiple directions and includes basic respect for individual boundaries and personal autonomy. Exactly 1 year after my dramatic airport escape, I received an unexpected text message from Mom. Watching Jennifer struggle with expensive paid childcare every week makes me realize how much we took advantage of your generous nature over the years. I'm beginning to understand that we never properly appreciated everything you sacrificed for this family. I'm sorry we treated your time and energy as worthless. It wasn't a complete apology that acknowledged the full scope of the exploitation, but it represented genuine progress and growing awareness. Now, when family members visit Colorado for vacation, they're consistently amazed by my transformed life. My spacious apartment with stunning mountain views, my fulfilling professional career, my active social calendar, my obvious happiness and confidence. You seem like a completely different person, Katie observed during her first visit. More confident and self-assured. Like you finally found yourself. He was absolutely right. When you finally stop accepting a diminished role you never actually chose, you discover who you really are underneath years of imposed expectations and systematic diminishment. The escape plan had worked perfectly. Not because I disappeared dramatically or destroyed family relationships vindicatively, but because I finally prioritized my own life and well-being over everyone else's convenience and entitlement. The family learned to function independently without their designated sacrifice member. I learned to live as a complete autonomous person rather than just a free service provider whose own needs were invisible. Sometimes former colleagues from my old job ask if I miss being so desperately needed by my family. The question always surprises me with its fundamental misunderstanding. I was never actually needed. I was systematically used and exploited. There's a profound difference between being genuinely valued for who you are as a person and being taken advantage of for what you'll silently tolerate without complaint. Understanding that crucial difference changed absolutely everything about my life. My 33rd birthday last month was the first one I celebrated exactly how I wanted to celebrate it. No children to supervise, no family obligations to fulfill, no guilt about putting my own happiness first for once. Just me and two close friends on a weekend camping trip in Rocky Mountain National Park. We watched a glorious sunrise from a mountain peak I climbed with my own strength, celebrating a life I built through my own choices and determination. That's what genuine freedom looks like after 15 years of invisible servitude and systematic family exploitation. Not dramatic confrontation or vindictive family destruction, but quiet determination to stop accepting what was never acceptable in the first place. The party I missed was just one afternoon of my life. The authentic life I gained in return was absolutely everything I'd been missing.